In this video, we'll come to know how to pass a purchase voucher in Tally Prime. So first, we'll understand what is payment voucher. So if I go with a high of a business, purchase is a cost incurred by the business during a period for future sales of our inventory. Purchase is an expenses to the company. It is included in the income statement and it is also considered as cost of a goods sold. In accounting, the purpose and type of purchase is important. Purchase of fixed asset for our own consumption will be accounted as fixed asset and shown in your balance sheet. And while purchasing made to make a sales in the future, that will be accounted as expenses and it will be treated as inventory. If you are maintaining an inventory, that will be affecting even your inventory part. If not, it will be treated as expenses. So in Tally Prime, a purchase voucher is used to record a transaction when a company purchases some goods on cash or a check or on a credit basis. A purchase voucher can be recorded in the following three modes. The first one is voucher mode, second one will be a item invoice mode, and the third one will be the accounting invoice mode. So we'll see all these three types in Tally Prime. So let's go with Tally Prime. So we have already created a company name called Avanayukta Solutions. So to pass a purchase transactions from gateway of Tally, we go to vouchers and a purchase voucher. So the shortcut key is F9. If you see a shortcut key panel, the shortcut key is F9. So you can pass this purchase transaction in three different methods. So what you are seeing, this is called as item invoice mode, where there is a name of a item, quantity, rate and a amount. This type of vouchers will be used in a manufacturing industries and even in a trading industries where the inventory has been maintained in a company, so that they can list out their stock items in a purchase voucher and the quantity, rate, amount separately. And in this voucher, our taxes will calculate automatically as per the configuration what we have done in a company. So next we go with accounting invoice mode. So how to change our mode? So we have an option called change mode here in the shortcut key panel. So we go with a change mode option and we select accounting invoice mode. So in this accounting invoice mode, we are getting particulars, rate and amount. So now what is the difference between item invoice mode and accounting invoice mode? So in item invoice mode, we used to get a name of the item, quantity, rate and amount. And in accounting invoice mode, we are getting particulars, rate and amount. So the inventory option has been removed in this accounting invoice mode. So this type of transactions or this type of mode will be used by a service industries where they are not going to maintain our inventories. And even in this screen, taxes will calculate automatically as per the configuration. So next we go with our voucher mode. We'll click a change mode option again. So we go with as voucher. So if you go with as voucher, it will ask particulars, debit and credit. It will not ask quantity, rate and amount or a rate and amount. So it will ask debit and credit. So this kind of voucher mode can be used by any set of industries. This can be used by a manufacturer, trader or a service industry person. So all type of transactions, in the sense all type of purchase transactions can be passed in this method by going with voucher mode, particulars, debit and credit. But in this voucher, the disadvantage is taxes will not calculate automatically. Even though you configured it, it won't calculate automatically. So in this voucher, it will just tally your debit amount to a credit amount, whether it is tallying or not. It will not check whether the transaction is correct or wrong, or the tax amount is correct or wrong. It will just tally your debit total with a credit total. So if both are matching, then it will accept the transaction. So these are the three vouchers we have in purchase voucher type. So we'll see some transactions, how to pass a transactions in purchase voucher. So there is a transaction dated on 9th November 2020. Purchase a goods for rupees 20,000 on cash with a supplier invoice number CBS 001. So if you read this transaction, we require a cash ledger and a purchase ledger to pass the transactions. So in this transaction, we have used a common name called goods. So we are not mentioning a stock items. So we'll create a cash ledger and a purchase ledgers to pass a transaction. So we'll go to a purchase voucher in Tally Prime. So in the question we had a supplier invoice number as CBS 001. So this is the voucher number of my supplier and it is dated on 9th November 2020. To change a date, you can press F2 and you can change a date. So whatever the date you have entered, the same date will be captured in supplier invoice number. And in 99% cases, it will be same. So whenever you receive a purchase invoice, on the same day, you will be passing a transaction. There are 1% chances where you are going to receive a purchase invoice on a later date and you will be entering a transaction in different date. So now we go with our invoice number as CBS 001 dated on 9th November 2020. It says you have purchased some goods worth rupees 20,000 rupees. So we need to credit a cash. So cash is a default ledger. So whenever you create a new company, a cash is a default ledger. You can use a cash here. Give a value as 20,000 rupees. So it says negative cash warning because I don't have a cash balance in a company. So it is going with negative. You can ignore this screen. So what to debit? We need to debit a purchase. So in the transaction we have not mentioned a stock items. So we go with a purchase ledger. It is not created. So we go with a create option. The cursor is already in create field. We enter on it. It takes me to a ledger creation field. So we'll create purchase under purchase account and we'll accept this screen. So it will ask for our inventory details, whether do you have any stock item to be mentioned. So at present in this transaction we have not mentioned any inventory part. We'll skip this. We'll just press enter and we'll ignore that field and we'll give a narration as goods purchased for cash rupees 20,000 and we can pass this transaction. So this is how you can pass a transaction in voucher mode. So we'll accept it. So next we go with one more transaction which will be passed in item invoice mode. So the transaction is purchased a stock items from Creative Business Solutions with the invoice number CBS 002. So if you read a transaction, we have not mentioned a purchase a stock item for cash. We are mentioning a supplier name as Creative Business Solutions. So if you are getting a supplier name in the transaction and nowhere it is mentioned as cash or through check, then it is a credit purchase. So we'll see what are the stock items we have purchased. So we are going to purchase a Dell computer of 100 number and each computer is 30,000 rupees, and also we purchase HP computer of 100 quantity and rate per unit will be a 35,000. So we'll pass the same transaction in Tally Prime by using item invoice mode. So now we go to Tally Prime. So this is in voucher mode. So we go to change mode option here and we select item invoice mode. So the transaction supplier invoice number is CBS 002. So we go with the same date as 9th November and we need to mention a party name here. So we are not making a payment or we are not made any payment either through bank or through cash at the same time when we are making a purchase. So we are purchasing on credit basis by giving assurance that the payment will be done in a future date. So we'll create a party name here as Creative Business Solutions. So we go with create option. So we'll give a name as Creative Business Solutions. And if he is a supplier, then we need to group it under sundry creditor. If he is a supplier, we need to group it under sundry creditor. Maintain balance bill by bill, we'll go with the other sessions and we'll accept the screen. We have already created a purchase ledger. We use the same purchase ledger here, which has been created while passing a transaction in voucher mode. So now it is asking for a name of the item. What are the products you are purchased from Creative Business Solutions? So if I see a list of stock items, there is no Dell computer and HP computer. So we go with the create option and we'll create Dell computer here under. So we have created some groups. So I can refer a creation of group video. So how we have created our groups and what is the use of creating a group. So here we are not having a group called computers. If you want, you can go with create option and you can create it. So all these things has been shown in a creation of group video. So here we go with primary, and for each and every stock items, so we need to have a unit of measure. How you are going to measure your stock? A Dell computer will be measured in numbers. So we go with numbers here and we'll accept the screen. So it will ask for a tracking number. If you want a tracking number, you can use. Otherwise, you can go with not applicable. So we'll discuss what is tracking number and what is the use of tracking number, all those things in a advanced level. Some people may get this particular screen, some people may not get this screen because of the configuration. This tracking number will be shown automatically if a delivery note and the receipt note is enabled in a voucher type. So we go with not applicable here. So we have purchased 100 number of computer, a Dell computer at 30,000 rupees each. So value will get calculated automatically as 30 lakh and we'll accept it. So next again we have purchased HP computer also. So even HP computer is not created here. So we go with create option, HP computer. Under primary we go with numbers, we'll accept the screen. In the same manner we go with not applicable in the field of tracking number. So we have purchased 100 quantity at 35,000 rupees each. So it will give you the value of 35 lakh and will pass a transaction. So if you have configured a GST part, even that can be added here. And if you want to charge some discount or a packing and forwarding charges, all these things can be added in a purchase transaction. So all these things we'll see in a upcoming video. So provide GST or EVA bill detail. So this is related to your taxation part. Will not test this feature at present. We go with a basics first. And you can give a narration here. Being goods purchased on credit basis with Creative Business Solutions. And we'll accept the screen. So this is how you can pass a item invoice mode. So we'll just look into this. So we have gone with supplier invoice number, which is your supplier sales invoice number, a purchase invoice date, supplier name, purchase account. We are crediting Creative Business Solutions and debiting a purchase. So your debit and credit has been taken place in party account name and a purchase ledger itself. So in the name of the item, we are just listing out what are the stock we have purchased and how many quantities and the rate. The same value will get debited and credited to your Creative Business Solutions and a purchase ledger. So next we pass one more transaction by using accounting invoice mode. So we go with a transaction purchase furniture for rupees 15,000 for cash. So furniture is a fixed asset in a term of business. So we'll go with a purchase transaction and we'll see how to pass this transaction in accounting invoice mode. So to change a mode, we go with a change mode option and we select accounting invoice mode. So we have purchased for cash. So if you have a supplier invoice number, you can give. For example, I go with CBS 003 dated on 9th November. So we have purchased for cash. So we go with cash here, a party name. Next, we have purchased furniture. So the furniture is not created here. We go with create option. We'll create a furniture here. So furniture is a fixed asset. So we go with fixed asset here and we'll accept it. So we have purchased for 15,000. And we can give a narration being furniture purchased for cash for business use. And we'll accept the screen. So this is how you can pass a accounting invoice mode transactions. So we have seen all three types of methods and we have passed our transactions in each mode. Thank you.